extension in 2 minutes?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. It is Tuesday, June 11th, 2019. We'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, minutes and reports received and filed.
May 2019 sheriff fees filed and May 2019 treasurer's reconciliation report filed.
Okay. Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports, upcoming meetings and events.
We got Planning Commission meeting tonight. Got HBA board meeting tomorrow, and our barbecue is tomorrow night. Solid Waste Management District board meeting tomorrow afternoon. YP Social Mixer Thursday evening. Cole County Chiefs Association meeting Thursday evening. Got our Renegades Coffee Friday.
And John Marsh asked for you for KWAS.
Why?
Because he loves
All
you.
right, I guess it's my turn.
Because he loves you.
When is that?
Well, and you know, Austin likes people to phone in.
Friday. Make sure you got some good questions.
9:30 Friday. Healthy Schools, Healthy Communities Executive Council meeting Friday at 9. And then if you need something to do, I think the Renegades have home games all week this week except for Thursday. And then Wednesday evening is Blair Oaks night, so wear your Blair Oaks attire and you get in cheaper. Last week they had JC night. And I had a Jeff City jacket and I didn't wear it out there and it still cost me full price. They didn't believe me. So I got one at home. That doesn't count. So, but it's, I think it's $5 in if you bring the attire, $12 if not, but it's a good time.
Cool. We got a courthouse landscaping meeting this afternoon at 2 outside here. We having a commission meeting at 7:30 tomorrow.
Yes.
And then I got a road and bridge advisory board and stormwater meeting at 8. So that's all I got.
Okay. 2 o'clock today in the rotunda of the Capitol, we're having the 75th anniversary of the USS Missouri commissioning, and the post office is issuing a special commemorative stamp, so we will do that. Then at 3 p.m. I have a disaster relief meeting at City Hall. The meeting tomorrow morning. We're going to close on 209 at 11 a.m. I've got a conference call at 3 p.m. Thursday, I get a YP lunch. You got the evening. I get lunch with them.
I don't know, it's just a recurring thing, it may be
Yeah.
lunch now.
And then at 1 p.m. we're doing over at the health department, Lincoln University. We're working on Nurses Ball for their 50th anniversary. And then Friday mornings, local government shareholders meeting. So that's all I've got. Okay. Presentation from staff consultants, invited guests. You are our invited guests. Amy Berenson with the Council for Drug-Free Youth.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I'm here as a very proud board member. Joy.
Just speak into here. It doesn't.
Oh, thank you. Hey, sorry, okay. Oh, being streamed. Hi, okay. So, hi, Amy Berenson. I am here today as a very proud board member with Council for Drug-Free Youth, a lifelong resident of Jefferson City, and also as a mom. So on behalf of Council for Drug-Free Youth, what we're bringing to you today is a bit of a challenge and some information. If you've probably heard of Over the Edge before, a really cool, awesome signature event that raises funds for communities where this is held. Previously, Special Olympics of Missouri managed and facilitated this awesome event, raised a lot of money, and they kind of felt as if they outgrew the event. But we felt that this community really liked the event and strong support and commitment from the community, so rather than just let it go by the wayside, we, Council for Drug-Free Youth, decided to pick that up as our new signature event. We needed to do something new and different to re-enhance our efforts and create added awareness for Council for Drug-Free Youth to impress upon the significance and importance to keep our kids drug-free here in Jefferson City. So we've all heard the adage, and if you've seen my Facebook page, you were told or challenged to do what scares you most, right? Well, heights is not my thing, but if I, as an adult, can step out of my comfort zone or off of a building, then I feel that kids might pay attention to those of us adults. If we can actually, us old people, can do that, then maybe they will model that bravery and that courage and follow suit, and do what we're asking and modeling and asking them to remain drug and alcohol free. So I'm shaking as I talk about this. Joy, she's not scared at all. She'll do it for everybody in this room. If you give her the money, she'll do
What's it
it.
cost us to have Jeff go off over the top?
So today, okay, I can answer the first question. That one I'm not going to touch. I'm not going to touch that one. But the entry fee is $50 right now. So Council for Drug-Free Youth, it's kind of an early bird special. We're going to, anyone who signs up between now and the end of this month, it's $50. After that will be $85, which is the regular sign-up fee.
I will pay $50 for Jeff to go over.
Well, there's more. There's those of you that want a piece of that. We have some other options. But so $50 to get in to sign up, and then that $50 also goes to your base. Each person who is an edger, we are encouraged and challenged to raise a minimum of $1,000 in order to rappel, not jump, to rappel down the side of the building. Scream, cry, I don't know. It might take me 3 days to get down that wall, but we'll see. So we're also challenging our friends in Jefferson City, you know, Council for Drug-Free Youth. We all have a similar mission that mirrors that what we do for CDFY, to motivate, educate, and collaborate to promote drug-free lifestyles among youth right here in mid-Missouri. And that's what we all do right here in this room in a different way, each of us, but that's a common purpose. So we're going to challenge you all, and anyone else in this room for that matter, to sign up. As an individual, you don't get to tandem rappel, but it's as an individual. We're also going to talk with the police department, the sheriff's department, highway patrol, and see if each of these law enforcement, surprise, entities would designate an edger or two, and then the agencies who have the most, look at that, Joy. The agencies who have the highest, not just participants, but the most monies raised. So if all three of you decide to become edgers, we would, well, then here you can apply your money to Mr. Helsher. So then if Jeff would have more than $1,000, then the clock starts right there, and we start ticking and counting the monies per each agency, and then we will have a prize and special ceremony for the agency or individual who raises the most money to, again, help keep our kids safe. What else have I forgotten, Joy? I think that's it. Our event is Saturday, October 26th. You do, maybe. Mental game for me, but so it's October 26th, and we like that date because that ties directly to Red Ribbon Week, and that's where we are in our schools encouraging our kids and bringing the message to remain drug and alcohol free. So pray for me between now and then that I find, I'm going to do it because I already said I would, and I've got a 15-year-old that's like, come on, Mom. He might be the one doing it. I don't know yet, but so there's the event. That's the cause. That's the event that we have. And Joy's going to share a little bit with you about the why and why we feel that now, with everything else going on within our community, why this is really relevant and important, and how monies raised here can really help our kids in our community.
Okay, well, I'm going to be very brief. I know that you guys don't believe me, but I promise. Basically, after the tornado in Joplin, there was a lot of research done. There's been research for years after natural disasters, but just recently in Missouri, the tornado in Joplin, they saw a rise in youth substance use after that event. Basically, the kids felt life was out of control. There was PTSD, all kinds of other things. And so everything we do is about prevention, but there's already significant data out there demonstrating that this type of an impact on a community has an impact adversely on our young people. And so we want to be proactive give them alternative activities, and really get the kids involved in the messaging about why we have to be resilient, how important it is to turn to positive, healthy coping mechanisms and not turn to substances. But in all of these other communities, they didn't see a rise in cigarette use, but they did see a rise in illegal substances and definitely in alcohol use among young people. And so we want to prevent that from happening in our community, and we believe that we can. And this event is one reason for, one way that we can say, hey, don't turn to drugs, go off the side of a building, and kids are going to you want to be a thrill seeker, you want to live life on the edge, go ahead and do it in a safe way that you're protected, and you have the support that you need behind you. And so I know it's like, what? Wait a minute, is this really true? But it really is one of those things, especially our kids that are most at risk are thrill seekers. And that's why they do these things, because they seek adventure, they seek thrill, they seek challenges, they want to do things that they've never done before. And rather than use drugs, something that you've never done before, rappel off the side of the Jefferson Building. All you have to do is be 100 pounds, so we are inviting youth. Youth can participate. Not the little kids, but as long as they're 100 pounds or more, they can go over the edge. And so hopefully we're going to be introducing it to them after the beginning of the school year, and they'll want to participate.
Jeff
Anyway.
qualifies.
Jeff qualifies. All right, yay, we've got him. He's signed up already. Your money's on the table.
Trust him to apply that to his interest.
John's going to be his coach. John's going to, he might start rappelling him off the chair.
We'll use some for tasing too, so we can do this combined.
We're going to tase Jeff. Okay, on that note, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, okay? On that note,
Take
okay.
my $50 and sign Jeff up.
Okay.
We'll be his supporters.
Are you doing the Broadway building?
Sorry, yes.
Thanks,
Same thing, Somo, so same site as Somo, same location,
Yeah.
same crew, that's the safe crew that do this, yeah.
So are you two in cahoots
No.
already?
No, and
Amy.
challenge Carrie, she needs to,
Okay.
Yeah. we want to.
Well, you need to go too.
well, too.
Yeah, come on. What are you scared of?
On the opposite side of the
I'm
big
dad. You know,
I say whoever raises the most money, the other one has to do it, Sam.
well, nobody will give to me, so they'll all give to you.
Then,
No, you can pick,
Then I make you do it.
delegate, it's all
Yeah, wait, you're the youngster here. You're the youngster.
It's Jeff.
20 foot up in a deer stand is high enough for me.
So watch for Mr. Helcher's Facebook page, because he will probably then, we'll help him turn that around so then he can have others support
I gotta
him.
sign up for the
Hey,
emails too for
You'll be
y'all.
the first one out, so you can
Yeah.
start getting everyone's money.
See?
So you're welcome.
Yay, thanks, Jeff.
We can auction off who gets to push me. Cause I'm not gonna go peaceful.
That's all right. We got you.
I don't even know if I would do this or the polar bear plunge first. Either one of them.
I ain't going outside the building, I can tell you that right now. Ain't enough of them.
Okay, okay.
This
Chicken.
is not starting out well.
Thank you.
very much, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Jeff, happy birthday early. Okay, we're gonna keep moving ahead. Any commission comments?
You guys are free to leave if you want.
Take our money and go.
Okay. Bids and contracts, discussion of previously awarded bid number 2019-14, vehicle equipment install and repair services.
So we awarded this in March to Donnie Braun and Sons, and they obviously suffered a terrible loss after the tornado. So we wanted to amend that bid award to be the lowest and best with availability, which would leave us Mike Hart Communications and Wireless USA as options.
See you later.
So when we awarded this previously, was it lowest and best with availability?
No, it was Donnie Braun and Sons.
Okay. All right. I move that we amend our bid award to the lowest and best with availability for vehicle equipment install and repair services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That good?
Perfect.
Okay. Do you, okay, yeah, we'll go in order. Contract renewal with MODHSS for the Adult Brain Injury Service Coordinator.
This is our annual renewal for the contract that covers our adult brain injury coordinator, Shallon Schoenhart. It covers her time and fringe expenses and some administration fee. And this year, they actually increased it by $5,000. So instead of $61,800, it is $66,800. So I just need approval of the contract.
I move that we renew and sign the contract with DHSS for the Adult Brain Injury Service Coordinator.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Signing of the award letter for the live scan agreement.
So this is just, we've talked about this once already, it's the award letter to replace the two live scan machines that we currently have. It's $18,000. So, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to keep one of them and move it over to the old jail, so we can do some processing over there too, so. But we'll see, once we get these new ones programmed and installed.
Are we paying for this, or just a grant, or?
No, the grant pays for it.
Okay. All right, I move that we sign the award letter for the live scan agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Bid awards, 2019-19, heavy equipment, engine parts, and machine shop repairs.
You guys should have the bid tab in front of you. The recommendation is for the lowest and best with availability between Precision Machine and Evers Machine.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Move that we award heavy equipment, engine parts, and machine shop repairs to the lowest and best with availability.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2019-11, paint materials discussion re-award.
Right, so we bid and awarded this in February, and it was to All States, who was the low bid, contingent on successful MoDOT testing. As it turns out, the MoDOT testing was not successful, so we would like to amend this award to go to the next lowest, which would be Ennis Flint, successful on, or contingent on successful MoDOT testing.
Do these guys not test their stuff ahead of time with certain states?
I don't know. They should have. I know that Cliff talked with them, and they were kind of good with trying it again potentially next year. I know it was way too thick to even test. I think the yellow paint, and then I don't remember specifically what was wrong with the white, but neither color passed testing. So it was definitely a quality issue.
Okay.
And Cliff did talk to the guy at the company, and they were good with passing it on to somebody else.
Okay.
What do you expect from a company from Texas? They don't even have a good football team.
Should have known.
I move that we award paint materials to Ennis Flint Incorporated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
North Carolina doesn't have a football team either.
Yeah.
Texas is football, man.
I know. Bid renewal 2017-17R1 banking services.
This is just our banking services with Central Bank. That's up to be renewed. Same services, same pricing. So we're just looking to sign this renewal. It's a 2-year extension.
Still no charge for our HSAs.
Yeah, we have not heard any different.
It was in the old contract, so I just want to make sure nothing changed, so.
Is everybody gonna have to move their HSA to Central?
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
It's just they do not have a charge on that, and it's up to the individual banks as where they charge for those things. So, I mean, you can probably talk to your individual banks, and if they'll waive it, they'll, you know, it's
Right.
up to them, so.
Okay. All right. I move that we renew our banking services with Central Bank and sign the contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any unfinished business? Okay, new business. Accounts payable review.
I might wait on that till you guys talk about the purchase.
Okay. Okay. Discussion of replacement van for Pringer Family Center.
Okay, as you know, it was totaled by the tornado, and they are giving us a little over $12,000 for the totaling van. And so I asked Michael if he would go look up, with Jennifer's help, on state contract, other vans that are available that would suit his needs. And the net difference is gonna be $9,668. Purchasing it new is $22,234. So, just looking to replace that van. I can give you the list of what, they have 4 vehicles, they had 2 are older vehicles and 2 are newer. This was one of the older ones, so.
That they use to take the kids to school and things like that, yeah.
I'm here with Pringer. If you-
Yeah.
We use those to take kids to school, activities. We have different events that they'll go to. We've got community service that uses them. There's several different things that the vans are used for.
How old was that other van?
2014.
Okay, yeah, Michael told me that the other day.
Yeah.
I forgot what year it was. And what year's the newest one?
I think it was one they got from,
Sheriff,
yeah,
is
some
that
department.
the Charger?
It did have a lot of miles on it,
Yeah,
lots of miles on it.
it's
Sorry.
a good car, that's got a lot of miles, yeah.
Well, this was just something unforeseen due to the tornado, so.
See if you can talk sheriff down. 22,000, it's high miles. Come on.
No, this was a brand new one.
That's a
No, this
brand
is
new.
brand new.
Oh.
No, the other ones that they have.
Okay, so we're getting a brand new one.
Yeah, to replace the one that
Well,
was-
so that's what he priced, was a brand new one.
I thought you said you looked to see what was available as in surplus or
On,
something. All
well,
On state contract.
yes, this is state contract for a new Dodge or something.
7-passenger minivan.
So for $9,000,
Yes.
we can get a brand new one.
Here's what's on
Or
the new.
what were the other options if we find something else that's used that would fit? We got anything?
We haven't looked yet.
It becomes difficult to bid out a used one. You know. So they have a 2007 Impala, 2013 is the Dodge, sorry. The van was a 2014, and then they have a 2002. So they have, 2 older ones, so.
Oh, the one's almost antique,
There's the,
so. Well, I was just wondering if we looked at any used ones or what, because that's what we've usually gotten, or some used stuff. So why wouldn't we look at that again?
Well, the used ones that we've got are usually ones that are passed out from other departments.
High mileage.
Yeah. And get hand-me-downs.
this, if you get a new one, this should last them for a long time, just for what you're,
I would suggest that they get Bluetooth. Spend the money on
That's
Bluetooth.
on
I doubt for 22,000 you're getting
No, I
Bluetooth.
think it's an extra $700, $795.
Sheriff said he'd pay for that.
I'll pay for it.
With what funds? Yours,
Oh, no,
personally?
I'll write a check. You just can't cash it.
I mean, I see what you're saying too. I thought the same thing, is what can we get for 12,000 some odd dollars and a used one? I don't know how you bid that. I mean, to me, find 3 comparables and comparable mileage and you call it a bid. I mean, so, but does that meet the requirements? I don't know.
I don't know the prices of these things either, if there's anything out there that you're gonna get for much better than just starting with a new one and probably having some kind of warranty and, yeah, 3-year bumper to bumper, so, I mean, for that price, it's probably worth just starting with it new. But, I mean, do we got, I guess, probably make the transfer then?
I will do a court order for the insurance money.
I guess right now, we just need to give some direction as to where we want to go. I mean, we're not approving the purchase today, right?
If you're ready to go, I'll approve. Assume.
Well, we'll have to sign the title and do other things, right?
We already did last time, we did the surplus title, and I mailed it off, so this is.
The old one, right?
The old one, yes.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
good
not
with
sure if
it.
they picked it up.
Yeah, I am too. I
We
think
have
it
not
makes,
picked it up, but there was one picked out.
But no, the old one that got damaged, so they picked that.
They did pick that one up, yes.
I mean, I'm fine with going with it. I think it's probably worth the value of having a brand new one and get the warranty and different things like that, get what you want on it too, so.
yeah, I think that's really pretty reasonable.
I don't know what the value of the Bluetooth thing is, if that's something that y'all need on there, or John was just joking. Is that so you can,
We're buying, all of our vehicles now have Bluetooth, so I don't want guys driving around with their hands to their face.
Does your radios have Bluetooth?
What's that?
Said, do your radios have Bluetooth?
They can hold it up in their mouth.
I'm just teasing you.
We can look into that as part of the feature that added, if Michael will mention it to us.
They've already got one picked out. They may not be able to add it. I don't know.
do they need to be on the phone when they're driving it? Where do
Yes.
you usually go to?
It's usually the youth specialist driving juveniles around locally, so.
It's not an extended area if they have to stop and use it.
It would fit well in with their fleet, 2 newer ones and 2 older ones, if you did go with the newer one.
I think we was fine with the newer one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just talking about the Bluetooth thing. I don't know if that's a,
Put a limit on it, check, or talk to Michael.
I'm good with moving forward with it. I mean, obviously, if they got one picked out, I mean, might not be able to add Bluetooth to it. May just have an AM radio. So, for that price.
Yep.
I don't think he's talking about the radios, being able to talk on the phone hands-free.
Yeah, usually that's tied into through the radio though, isn't it?
But for
Most of them anymore.
$700 we can get you a earpiece for hands-free.
Sure.
A line item 4 is Bluetooth connectivity, so that's an available option.
Maybe it's already got it.
Okay, we'll see what he can get.
Yep, yep,
Okay to purchase them.
yep,
All right, generator discussion.
yep.
So we're trying to get this generator swapped out in the courthouse. Lots of different vendors that we're trying to coordinate the project through, different vendors giving us different prices, buying the generator on a cooperative purchase
Cooperative
agreement.
on the generator as well as electricians.
Right.
Got bids on running the gas pipe, got the lowest bid for that. Talking with Jennifer last week, I've got 2 more bids coming for the door and the ductwork coming. I was hoping to have it today, but with all the contractors being swamped, I'm hoping to get it later this week. As of right now, we're under the $10,000 limit to do this project, so we didn't have to bid it out. I'm hoping that's going to stay that way and get going, because the bids are coming up on 90 days, and I don't know how long they're going to hold them for that.
What's the total price?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I was looking, we had 25 budgeted for it, so are we under that?
We
Probably
are gonna
not.
be-
Well, if you're under 10 on all that, what was the generator?
Generator was 16.5.
So we're gonna be close.
Yeah, it's gonna be right around 27.
Okay, when we were talking earlier, you said you still gotta get some other bids though.
That's what Jennifer asked me to get two more and
So we have the 3 phone bids.
3 phone bids.
All right,
Correct.
so we're gonna revisit that whenever we get those then, or?
It's however you'd like to do it. I was just gonna take the lowest and best and just run with it and get it done. Like I said, we're running off cooperative for the generator, cooperative for the electric. I took pricing for the gas pipe, took the lowest for that, and then I'm just waiting to see which one's the lowest for the doors and the metal ductwork.
I think mainly today, we were just wanting to make you guys aware of where we were at and just making sure we were okay moving forward on it, so.
So when you get the bids, then we'll talk about them and choose the lowest and best.
Yeah.
On the door and the ductwork.
Yeah.
You good with that? I mean, obviously cooperative on the electric and he's taking bids on the gas piping and
Yeah,
some of the plumbing,
You
so.
just had the 2 of them, you had to get some more bids on.
Yeah,
Right.
just had to get on the door and the ductwork.
So bring it back to us whenever and get some bids.
The other question is, I know we're still don't know what we're doing at the old health building. I wanted to see if we could do a request to see what it would cost to move that generator over to the Pringer Center. If you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, I think you lost power
Yeah,
during the
they're down.
tornado, so I think,
That unit is big enough to run their facility.
Hell, the tornado would have picked it up probably. Threw it in the creek, so I don't know if it would have mattered having it at that point. But I'm fine getting some prices on it. We talked about that too, the budget, didn't we? Or
Yes.
just pigtails?
Well, we talked about both.
Okay.
We
I'm
talked
glad you
about both.
remember.
yeah, I'd be moving it over and whatever it takes to hook it up. But,
But I mean, we talked about it during budget time and it's on the capital list, and we can get some prices together and bring them to us and we can go from there.
Okay.
Are you wanting to moving that or the pigtails again too? So you
Well,
can look
well, it
at
needs to be hooked up, so whatever it takes,
It has to have that to.
whatever it takes to hook it up, yeah.
So the generator pigtails we kinda had on our capital request. I don't know if that was something we necessarily said we were gonna.
Well, so
we
the-
did it twice already. and
Right.
vendors away.
Yeah.
So the pigtails is, the idea there is to pull in a portable generator and power it up with the pigtails. Putting a permanent generator there is, hopefully the generator's gonna work and keep the power
Don't you
on.
need the same pigtail
No,
for it?
no.
No.
You just hardwire it in.
It's hardwired in. We'll just take the one over to Health, move it over to the Pringer, hardwire it in and be done with it.
Yeah,
You won't need no pigtails, nothing.
Be an automatic transfer switch and other stuff that
I
goes in.
find that hard to believe. I think they're gonna have the same problem with it
Well, they may.
backfeeding and stuff like they were talking about with the pigtails, so I'm fine with it. You got 30,000 in there for pigtails, if they're gonna charge us less to move that one over there, then it would make sense to do that. So,
Now, let's just see where the numbers come in at, and then we need to decide what we're
I'm
gonna do
curious.
at the health department too, so.
mhm.
I could be wrong, I doubt it, but.
What?
Oh, no, it's 9:30 in the morning.
All right,
Pretty
Sam,
good
come on,
wrong.
let's
Okay, okay. County clerk to discuss
Thank you,
liquor
Greg.
license refund.
I'm okay with it. That's all Lynn's emails.
Yeah. This-
All right, I received a call from Brenda Franken. She's the CPA with the Midstate Bowling Alley out there that was damaged during the hurricane, or the tornado, the old Westgates. And they asked if they could get a refund of some kind on their liquor license since they just paid it. It was $300, and there's a $3 fee that we charge, so it's $303. It was due May 6th is when they paid it. We called the state to ask if they were doing any refunds, and they said they would if anybody asked. As of now, we don't know if they asked for one. They didn't tell us whether they did or not, so I don't know if you want to wait to see if they issue a refund, or if you want to make your own decision, or if you don't want to do a refund, or...
Steve, can I just, I used to be a legal advisor to ATC, it was one of our divisions, and the state law requires counties and cities, if applicable, to have licenses if they have a state license. So until the state refunds their license to be compliant under the law, they still need the county license.
Okay,
So Lynn and I discussed this,
okay.
and she said she would just tell them to, the state to send her the approval, and then you could.
Wait till they get the refund from the state and then,
Have the state contact
Yeah,
us.
I had just asked Joe, because I'm like,
Sure.
this is out of my wheelhouse, so.
that's fine with me. If you want to do that, that's fine with me. I'll call and tell her that, I guess, and she might not ask for a
So
state
why
refund, because
does
the state timeline's different than our timeline, so I don't know if they're on the same date or not, see?
State's usually in June.
So it's in June. So they might not have paid their state yet. So how would we handle that?
I'd just refund it, and if the state says, well, we're gonna terminate your license because you don't have a county license, well, we don't have a building, so who gives a damn? So.
That's kind of my thing too, is that, I mean,
What are they gonna
who
do?
cares if you got a state license or not? You're not operational. You're not doing business. I mean,
It's just making them go through more dog and pony shows, hop through more tricks and stuff, just do it.
So if the state license comes due in June, if they don't renew that, then they won't have the state license anyway now, so, right? Because this is June.
Right. Usually the state starts their renewals, I think, already like May 1st, like notices, or they start doing the process. But they all become due in June, I don't know if it's June 1st or June 30th, the pay bind. And then there's so much, 30 days or 60 days, if they don't pay it by then, there's a process. And by a certain day, they have to start all over and file for their license.
does the state prorate their license based on when
Well,
they pay it?
Sometimes they prorate it if, a new business becomes active and starts selling liquor, like say in August of 1 year.
Right,
They may prorate it just for then August through.
June
8
1.
months.
Right.
Whereas we just start from the day that we get the copy of their state liquor license. They have to give that to us before we issue our county liquor license. So if somebody comes to us in August 3rd, we will make their liquor license effective August 1st of 2019 through August 1st of 2020. We kind of do on rotating as they come in.
So it's contingent on them having a state license before we
They
issue
give
the
us a copy
county
of their
stuff.
state license issue. We have to have that before we issue our county
Yeah.
license.
Have to have a city liquor license too?
Yep. You have to have all three.
They're within the city limits.
Triple dip.
And we could prorate it if you wanted to charge them for a month and whatever y'all choose to do.
I'm good with issuing the refund.
I was too.
I move that we refund the liquor license to Midstate Bowling.
Second.
Fees,
All-
sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Courthouse streetscape landscape professional services proposal.
Okay, so, see, I think I briefly gave you guys some of that stuff. Jill's reviewed the proposal from Central Missouri Professional Services to move forward with some of the work done outside the courthouse. And so just trying to get this going and move this along. Time frame, try to get this thing bid here probably the end of this month, middle of next month, and then construction work to start this fall. Obviously, there's some subcontractors with Architects Alliance and different people on some of this, so bringing the whole team in to try to get all this done, and obviously, once plans are done, we can review before it goes out for bid.
We're gonna be able to design it to try to keep within our budgeted amount?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the plan.
Yeah, that's what I thought you had said. I remember we briefly talked about it when you were giving us this, so. Yeah, we need to get moving on this so we can get this done, and we've got the 200th anniversary coming up next
Yeah.
year, so we need to make sure we have it looking nice. It's no trees in there now. It's
Yep.
looking pretty sad,
Okay,
but the clock still works.
yes.
Sometimes it chimes kind of strange.
Do we have an agreement to sign for this, or?
This was just a proposal, what I would,
we have an agreement?
that's all they sent me.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm fine.
You might wanna approve the proposal, and I'll talk to Mike and get an agreement.
Okay. I move that we approve the proposal from Central Missouri Professional Services for the streetscape landscape project at the courthouse.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
County emergency closing policy.
Okay, well, as you guys know, we had a closing, or you guys closed the building on the 23rd, close to 9 o'clock on the day after the tornado. I'm just gonna go back in history. We came up with this policy in 2011. It's actually closing the building, locking the doors versus it's a snow day, maybe you guys take your vacation sick. But because in 2011, in February 1st and 2nd, we had an ice storm and we did close our buildings. And that one was declared a federal disaster. But because we didn't have a policy on record, we couldn't get those 2 days back from the feds as reimbursing us. So that's why we came up with this policy in 2011. And so I'm pretty sure we hadn't used it since then, but since we used it on the 23rd, it was basically the people that went home, the time they were off, they used sick time, and we gave them 8 hours of sick. So it was a wash for people that, you know, that came, and then we gave them time and they took that time. For the people that worked, they would get paid for the work they've done. Mostly, you would think that was overtime. If they worked their normal schedule, that would have been paid at overtime. Plus, they then banked 8 hours of sick. So I know there was some discussion. All the other departments did do that. I didn't get the list from EMS as far as the people that were actually scheduled to work. So if you guys want to change the policy, but I hesitate to change the policy because if you go back and change the policy and this emergency does get declared a federal disaster, we probably won't get refunded for that again too. I can't say we will or we won't, you know, but to go retroly back and change it would not be the way I would suggest. Because you would probably jeopardize the reimbursement.
So people that were scheduled to work
Yes.
got their sick leave, but people that got called in to come into work did not get the sick leave.
Yes, they did get their sick leave. They got the bank the sick leave, and they got paid for the work.
That wasn't the way I understood. It was just people that were scheduled to work, and that's why the emails were going back and forth, as if they were scheduled to work, then they got the time off. But if they weren't, and they came in and worked anyway, this could be public works, the sheriff, EMS, any kind of emergency services or whatever.
They were scheduled for the day. Now, if they got called in to work, they did not get the 8 hours of sick.
They just got the overtime.
They all got the overtime, right. If they were scheduled, that was their normal work day, was the 23rd.
So
Then
why wouldn't
got
they
the
get the 8 hours?
They weren't scheduled for that day.
They came in and worked.
They got paid for it.
They got paid what for it?
They
To come in and work on the day that we're closed.
got overtime.
Well, the other people were getting paid too to work, so why would they get the sick leave?
Because they used it. Which ones? The ones that were
The
scheduled?
ones that were scheduled.
Yes, they used it, and if they weren't here,
Well, if they're working overtime, they're getting overtime too. So really, these other people are coming in and not getting anything for coming in and helping during emergency.
well, you have to remember, these people that did come in, that's what they do. They're emergency people for the county. It's the sheriff's department, it's EMS, it's Road and Bridge. They realize when there's any kind of snow or killing or anything else, they're gonna.
I'm just one arguing, if y'all aren't, I think they're
Sorry,
getting
killing.
screwed, so.
Shooting.
But if they work, they got overtime, so.
So do the other people possibly. They might be working overtime too and be getting paid overtime. What if they weren't overtime? What if they had vacation and they just got straight time? That's not fair to them. They're getting screwed. So if
The ones
y'all
that didn't
don't
come into
agree,
work?
we don't have, yeah. What if they had vacation that week and they weren't scheduled to work, but they came in for emergency? They're not gonna get overtime. They're gonna get straight time. So it's not a perfect policy. I'm not saying exactly how to fix it.
Debbie,
I'm not saying we go back and do it retroactively.
They wouldn't get the overtime.
So, I mean, I agree with you. I don't like the policy that we have. I'm not ready to go retroactive and change it. I don't like giving sick leave.
Well, that part too.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
remember why
don't
we
like
did
it
that.
as sick
I think
leave
it's
at
so we
all.
couldn't bank it and just.
Right, I mean, if we close, I don't mind paying you for the day, but I don't wanna call it sick. And I don't want people to bank sick. So,
It was basically sick versus a vacation, a holiday, because it was,
right, and I don't really wanna call it anything. I just wanna, it's just paid time. And so, I don't know how we address, I think you have a valid point, is that emergencies happen, people come in, I see that. Obviously, that's what some of our law enforcement, some of those people, that's part of their job and they sign up for that.
That's right.
So I think it warrants more discussion moving forward as to how we handle that.
I agree.
So.
That's what I wanted to do, is talk about it for in the future. I wasn't saying we'll go back and change it now.
Right.
And is this something that'll be in the new HR
it's part
manual?
of it,
Yeah, so,
yeah, we have two different ones, one for just the when we close the door and one for just,
Mhm.
you know, we can't make it in because of other bad.
I mean, because I see it, if you allow people to bank it, whether it's paid time off, sick time, whatever, you're gonna pay more in the future. I mean, so why not just pay it out now, take care of it, and so whatever you wanna call that.
Just already part of your salary line.
It was sick because it doesn't pay out.
Right.
The sick really doesn't pay out, I mean, it's time off, pays out only if you've been here 10 years or longer. So that's why we went the route of that. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, but also when you accumulate a lot of sick leave and you get ready to retire, or you're getting ready to leave, or you're moving to another job, what do? You're gonna burn your sick leave. And what does that do for departments that need people there?
You have to have the doctor's excuse too. I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, it puts everybody in a bad spot, so now you
If
got.
you're sick
peop-
every Friday for,
Yeah.
your last 2 weeks or
I
3
mean, it's
weeks or 2
pretty,
months.
probably pretty easy to get a doctor's excuse that, hey, my throat hurts or whatever. I mean, so, it just, you have to backfill with overtime to fill the spot that you need. So, anyway, so I just don't like that, but, I think it warrants future discussion,
Yeah,
maybe on days that we have more time.
Well, we talked about it after the ice storm, and that's when it came up, and we thought we had a good policy, well, there's some imperfections we gotta look at. Some departments would rather it be vacation leave, because sick leave, if it's vacation, they have to put in for vacation, so they can have people there to fill those spots. But sick leave, call in sick, you're hungover, whatever, there you go. You got, then all of a sudden you're having to call people in to last minute. Vacation, they're gonna be taking their kids to the ball game or something.
Schedule around it.
So that was one of the things too that was brought up, but.
So, if you're okay, I'd like to just leave it as is and talk about it more. We can talk about it more next week, or.
I thought, once we get our HR person, I think. we
yeah,
can-
that's.
Ask them to address it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm
is-
hoping that that'd be something they could lead us on, maybe give us something, or maybe perfect it a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Sounds like a good plan.
all right.
Good?
Yep,
Awesome.
yep.
Come on, leader, lead us. Let's go.
Treasurer to discuss county investments.
Serious? Well, you don't need to be on the treasurer's. You don't need to be on the
Oh, yeah. had a affidavit for narcotics.
That's good. That means you've been very healthy.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Fine.
Good, Eric. I'm Mark.
That's when we gave one to you. So that's next there. I'll find it here on out.
Gentlemen, if you'll look at the first handout, the first page, we have, it shows the amount down there at the bottom, the total amount we have invested. I would bring your attention to column 4, maturity date. And we now are at less than 1 year on every instrument except for general revenue of $1 million at the top that expires a little more than a year from now. And I just bring that to your attention that the idea is to go out and have a laddered portfolio that, let's call it short-term, medium-term, and long-term. And because in past decisions we've decided to go shorter term, we're now facing where we no longer have longer rungs in our laddered portfolio. So anyway, that's the amount down there at the bottom, the 4 that we have in outstanding investments right now. If you look at your, do you have any questions? Second sheet shows our matured investments, including the last 2 at the bottom, which both matured at the end of May. And I think since our last meeting, we also had that 1.5 million that matured April the 30th. I might have that wrong, but since we last met, we either have 2 or 3.5 that has matured. And as you can see in the last 2 columns, comparing as Commissioner Bushman wanted us to at the beginning of this project, to kind of keep track, if we had left everything over 34 million in the bank at the overnight rate that Central Bank offers us, we're, as you can see, noticeably higher with our newer agreed to investment strategy. Any questions on that handout? And I'll let Mark go through his calculation on the third handout, the third page, how we arrived at. Today we're looking at investing, I believe, 1.5 million, and he'll walk you through the math real quick.
I prepared this on June 6th, last week. First number is the cash in the bank under the accounts controlled by the Commission and Treasurer. There's 1.6 million in bank accounts from other officials. That's sheriff, prosecutor, circuit clerk. Sales tax to be received in early June, which we have received, so which it came in a little higher than that, but total cash available 38. That I looked at it today. That's about what that is. What we have in the bank as of this morning, about 38 million total. So. Allowing for payroll, 2 payrolls, other expenses, and taking out $500,000 for the building purchase that's coming up today or tomorrow, I guess. So that leaves us with about 35.5 million in the bank, and the 34 is kind of our threshold. Anything over 34 is sitting in the bank, only earning 0.25%, and if we can get that out of the bank account and invest it at 2.25%, then we're going to make a lot more interest money than it just sitting in the bank. So we're looking at about $1.5 million that we believe we should invest as of right now.
Any questions on that page? If you'll turn to your next page, those are the rates, today's rates, and cumulative rates since the beginning of June. Our checking accounts earn the 3-month rate plus 16 basis points for anything over, for anything under 30 million, is that right? And then the 3-month rate, which today is 2.28, minus 0.15 for anything between 30 and 34. And that's part of our bid. We can't change that. It's, as Mark pointed out, and as we point out to you every time we meet with you, it's everything over 34 million, which only earns their overnight rate, which right now still stands at 0.25 that we want to invest. The question is, I understand you all are getting ready to purchase, make purchases in the next couple of days and in the coming months. So if you'll look at the 1 month, the 2 month, the 3 month, which let's just call that short term. Obviously, the most attractive rate right now is the 1 month. Or the 2 month. I just saw those rates. I was looking at the earlier rates in my office. Anyway, so the short-term rates are a wash, basically, 2.3. Now, we're going to get what's called a discounted rate, which after Central Bank does their transaction at their trading desk, it won't be exactly, it never has been, what's on the Federal Reserve, or in this case, the Department of Treasury's website. But this is a good approximation. This is a good thing for us to make our decision today on. So rather than coming and recommending to you a specific time period, I thought you all could look at those, and you all look at those rates as they exist right now, and look at your crystal ball in terms of how much you all will be spending in the next year or two. Well, excuse me, next year. As I pointed out at the beginning of the meeting, we're approaching where none of our investments are going out more than a year. Any investor will tell you you want to hedge risk, and in this case, rates are starting to fall. The Federal Reserve is telegraphing to the investment world that rates may actually start going down at their next meeting due to the tariff war between the Chinese and the United States, and also due to concern about the inflation rate, that it still performs or delivers below 2%, which is the Federal Reserve's target. So we can look at less money coming in our checking account interest in the coming year once those rates start ticking down, and we'll also see these rates that you're looking at right now, those will start to come down. They already have come down. If you'll look at just in the last, I want to pick the column that best expresses it real quick. I think 6 month, just the beginning of this month was at 2.31, now it's 2.15. That's what's happened just in the last couple of days. The market is starting to kind of bake in the expectation that the Federal Reserve will probably lower its rate in this next FOMC meeting or its next meeting. So those rates are going to start tumbling. Maybe tumble might not be the right word, but they will start to drop even more than they already have just in the last 4 days. I was looking at this through May, and May's were of course noticeably higher than they are now. So that's kind of what we've got ourselves into. Since we don't have investments going out a year now, all those rates are going to slowly start to go down, and at some point we're going to be chasing 30-day Treasury bills exclusively. You all will probably not want to go out 1 or 1.5 or 2 years because the rate will be so much lower than a 30 or 60 or 90 day, at which time all of our investments will be short term. So I'm not saying that's a catastrophe because the rates are actually higher short term than they are long term. But on the other hand, investors will tell you, you want to hedge against risk. In this case, the risk is rates a year from now will be lower than they are right now. And so you want to lock in, let's call it a somewhat unattractive rate now, because if you wait a year, you'll have an even less attractive rate. But I don't know if you all are in a position to want to go out that long, or what Debbie and Kristen feel, but we're fine with whatever you all decide.
Well,
All
we
I need-
have-
Go ahead, sorry.
We have $1 million that will mature 8/31, so in a couple of months, I don't know. Other than this purchase,
So right now you have the 2 new ambulances that you just approved that were an emergency. You have quite a bit encumbered in EMS of equipment that has not come in yet and hasn't been paid for. We have the purchase of the building. Whatever you're thinking about with the landscaping. The vehicle at juvenile, I mean, there's some larger purchases that are coming up here in the next.
And we have capital funds that should cover all that too. Right?
Not the building.
Not the building, right? Mhm. But they've got that in here in the calculations. Mark did.
Well, at 35.5, it's every fund, it's not just, I mean, that includes your capital.
I think maybe the question might be the note for 1 million that matures at the end of August. Can some of the projects that were just mentioned, can those be paid with the million maturing in August, allowing us to go longer term now? If we wait until the maturity of this 8/31 note, as I just pointed out to you, the rates in August are going to be quite a bit lower probably. Because not only will they probably lower the rate between now and then, in August, I can pretty much guarantee you they'll be talking about whether or not to lower another 0.25% at the Federal Reserve, which will make these rates go even lower. So,
Yeah, so I mean, the idea is, I mean, obviously you could take advantage of higher short-term rates now, or you could lock into a longer-term rate, and it may be a wash, because as those year rates drop to 1.5 or whatever that may be, I mean, now you're at least locked into a decent rate over that year period. I mean, it's all a gamble, whatever you want to
Yeah.
do, but obviously if rates are falling, they're probably going to keep falling.
right. And there's the specter of there being a recession this year, or early next year. That's always a possibility, which would make those rates fall further, so.
how about if we take $1 million and invest it in, like 1 year, we keep the 500,000 maybe in 1 month or 2 months,
Right.
so that we've got it, that way we know we're gonna have the money to cover what we're looking at,
So you're saying taking $1 million,
taking $1 million for long-term and then keep the $500,000 in 1 month or 2 months.
right?
And when you say the million longer term, do you mean something longer than 6 months?
Uh,
Because 6 months.
6 months better than a year, but
$1 million a year.
You have 2 that already mature in February.
Right, but I'm going to ask you all to put those out long-term again, instead of spending it. We're putting it in 30-day notes. That's the other part of the conversation, is what are you all going to want to do with those notes maturing early next year? Maybe it's too early to talk about it, but
Yeah.
that kind of drives what
Yeah,
we're doing right now. Because once those expire, once those mature, then we have almost nothing long-term. And we're gonna find ourselves,
Well, keep in mind the budget's process will start in September, but again, you guys really won't know much till November.
Mhm.
Is what we're looking at.
well, why don't we go out $1 million for 6 months at 2.15 is today's rate? We can take 500,000, put it in a 2-month for what's 2.32 right now. And then 6 months, we'll just reconvene and see how things look,
Yeah.
if that's all right.
I mean,
Does that sound all right?
I still think that we should look at a year or at a minimum with the longer term investment, but.
Well, I'd like that, but I know that,
I mean, you're looking at short-term rates, and so those could possibly plummet. So you obviously, we're gonna be watching this over the next 2 months, right?
Yeah, well, we've got
Because
a million
We're
coming
gonna have a
due.
$500,000, and then we got another $1 million coming due August 31st, which is 2 months, right? So we're gonna have another $1.5 million coming due in 2 months, or maturing in
Right.
2 months. So, over 2 months, if the bottom drops out of these yields.
right. That's what I'm warning you all about. And I told you last time we had a meeting that this would happen, that our rates today would be less attractive than what we had back in February. I remember recommending going long-term, but you all said we've got capital projects coming online, and I think at that time, my recollection is, part of it did go longer term, and part of it, you all kind of split the pie then. So, we're on the right track. It's just a matter of whether you want to go out, say, a year right now, or do you want to wait,
I'd be okay with the year since we have $1 million coming due here in a couple of months.
Okay.
The $500,000, we should.
In 2 months, I mean.
Yeah.
So we got 4 million,
Yes.
and their GR's $1 million, law enforcement, 2 separate ones at $1 million, health insurance $1 million. Where's the other $1.5 million coming from?
Mark walked you through that. That's,
That was on page 3, that's where the 35.5 million, so.
right, so
we
anything
already
over
had,
34, anything over 34, we're only earning 0.25, and that's how we always arrive at how we should approach you all about how much to reinvest, or to invest, rather.
They'll be coming out of GR.
That's all GR.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's GR, right?
Okay.
Or no?
Well, the cash numbers are all combined, that's everything.
Right, that's right.
Right, but
And
the
bottom, I
investment
put
would be
there
coming
what
out of
the
GR.
current ledger balances are in each fund, so like there's,
Right.
as of last week, there was 9.3 million just in GR, so.
Well, then why don't we, on what Chris is saying, based on what you're saying, we can go out to go out a year at 1.97 with $1 million, knowing in August we have a significant note maturing, and then still stick the 500,000 in the 2-month short term, and then meet again, probably in August, I guess, when that note expires. Does that sound all right?
Good with that, Jeff?
I don't know, that's what,
Okay.
it's, so $1 million at a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
500,000 at 2 months.
Yeah, it's on that little sheet right there. Do you have a concern, Jeff, about 6 months, a year, or 2 years? Are you suggesting, are you looking at, are you thinking longer or
Just
shorter?
trying to look into my glass slipper or whatever you use to tell the future. And I always get them fables mixed up, so just do it. I don't know, you can second guess yourself all day long on these. I think my only concern is I didn't want to go out past a year at this point.
Okay,
I just don't like tying that up, so.
Right.
So,
Well, we'll just go out a year on the $1 million, and then 500,000
yeah,
for
let's
2
just do it.
months. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I said, there's a million different ways to do it.
Right.
I was just wrapping my head around all of it, so.
Okay.
And Is that all good with?
It's all good?
Yep.
You guys all right?
Yep,
Okay,
we're
thank
good.
you.
Thanks.
Debbie?
Keep making us money.
Well, they're gonna make money, no matter what.
Okay.
Tied up.
Discussion of jail staffing issues.
I've already talked to all three of you all.
Let's wait till after June 20, or August, no, October 26th. When is the date of that thing?
October 26th.
Yeah.
So I've already talked to all three of you, so you're aware of what's going on. I'm 19 down in the jail right now. That puts me at 64% of staffing. Today I am going to move 10 federal prisoners. I'll start moving 10 federal prisoners out to try to lower our count, lessen the work that we have right now on our staff. What I'm wanting to do is, there was 2 proposals that we talked about, and I think, after speaking with you guys individually, I think everyone was more comfortable with, I'm not saying yes, but if you was more comfortable with $32,500 a year, increasing from $30,300 to $32,500. That would be $16,800 is what I have to pay for this year, which I have $80,000 in my salary line due to vacancies. And then in fiscal year 2020, it would be an increase of $33,600. So I had good conversations with all of you all about different things. We're getting ready to put out a advertisement in the surrounding counties. I was wanting to get these salaries correct before I did that.
I figured we'd be coming back and revisiting this.
Well, and I'm gonna be
When we
honest,
talked
like I
about
told
it.
you all, I'm eating crow over this one because the staff told me when we did this back last year that we needed to increase more for jailers, because I think Tim Harlan actually saw this coming, and so we tried it, and it didn't work. So I'm hoping that the 32.5, it's not what corrections making. They just got pay raises, so corrections making more than that now, but it's still pretty good for the surrounding agencies, and hopefully, again, I can steal people. You laugh, I'm not kidding. Questions?
No.
Is that post or is that just?
No, and there won't be any more posts for the $1,200 for post certification anymore. We'll take that step out. I don't have any jailers that are post certified right now. So, as a matter of fact, these positions, 4 of them are jail deputy positions in the jail, so. But I think this is the best bet for us right now to move forward and try to entice more people to come and stay with us. And they're leaving for all different reasons. We lost one to Greg, so it's just there's different reasons why people are leaving. It's not an easy job. And for the past 3 months, I think, they've been on 12-hour shifts, 3 or 4. Jail. Oh, well, I don't know, I think well, yeah, maybe. They changed it around a little bit, but.
So will this adjustment affect any current staff that you already have?
Yes, it affects all the jailers, all 10 of them that are left right now. So it will give them a pay raise too, or that compression issue. That's why it's $16,800 for this year, because we're doing a $2,200 bump for them too, to make sure that we don't have someone coming in making more money than someone that's been here, trying to take care of the people we've had, so entice them to stay.
What about deputies and deputy jailers and everybody else? Is that,
No.
I mean, are you compressing your?
No, deputies are good. Their start pay's 37, 38.2 now. So it's still a wide enough gap that we shouldn't have an issue there.
So you're down 19?
19 people.
And so how, you said we got 10 working?
No, they only have, I think there's a total of 11 deputies are jailers.
Okay.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 10. So we have 10 jailers. And then of those, I got 1, 2, 3, well, 10 minus 18, so I have 8 full-time jailers. And then part-time, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Kempker, he's listed on here still because he's still with me, but I'm losing him, so that'll be another vacancy for there. So now we're 9 jailers. Then we have the jail deputies and the part-times, and, I mean, everyone's doing a good job. They're busting their butt. It's a great staff. They're doing what they can to make do. But the raising the pay to $30,300 didn't work, so we need to increase it more. It'll increase next year's budget line and the jail by $33,600.
I mean, I'm good with it. I don't think it's gonna fix your problem, but
I think it will. I'm hoping it will.
I'll bet on that.
Optimistic. Sure. Pie.
No, over the edge.
Steak.
Oh, whoa!
Come on.
No.
Come on. Come on, put your money where your mouth is.
Getting bit. I'm telling you right now. I don't know Hell no. I'll tell you what.
Hey, you're a big boy, but those ropes will
Bowling
hold.
here will go. Or Harlan.
No. No.
Unlike Bumbles, I don't bounce.
What do you think, Jeff?
I'm fine with that. Kind of saw this coming when we tried to adjust it before. I didn't know if that was gonna be enough.
Yeah, you and I actually talked about that.
Yeah, I hate giving John money. Giving him his own
Well, the
money, I
good thing
guess.
is you're not having, it's in my budget anyway, so.
I hope it does fix it. Sometimes throwing money at it is the wrong thing to do. But
And we'll go from the next, whatever the next pay period is, that's when we'll start it, and then we'll do the transfer. Because we gotta transfer some money into overtime. We're at 67%, I think, 67% of our overtime, so. And then we're gonna have to move some money over to part-time, because we're running out of money there too.
I mean, we kind of ran into this over at Health Department too. We was having trouble filling the nurses. And we had to make some adjustments there.
All right.
Yep.
It actually helped a lot, so.
Okay, run with it.
Yep.
You got a vote?
Yes, please.
How do you word that thing to approve the 20?
So we're gonna move the salary from 30,300 to 32,500. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's starting salary?
All right, so moved.
Second.
Good enough? Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that all you needed then, right? That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was gonna do that before Chris changed his mind.
Okay.
I saw him kind of wavering over there.
Signing of affidavit for narcotics ordering.
Matt's not here, so I told him I'd take care of this. We need to, the previous one had Mike Shirts designated, and it needs to be Dr.
Ludi, yeah.
So, Sam, or you all need to vote to sign it, and Sam can sign it there. There's 2 witness lines. If
We want to sign as witness.
Yes,
Okay.
and then Matt will get Dr. Ludy's signatures.
Okay.
Do we have to notarize Dr. Ludy's? So maybe he can come up here and sign it at the clerk's office, or?
Well, I don't think so.
Okay. But
The old
I'm
one.
fine with moving forward with this. I'm surprised we could even have, the prior director on here. I'm surprised we were able to do that, so.
Well, Matt discovered this.
Yeah.
It was signed by Wrigley and Mike Shirts.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's ever voted on.
I move that we sign the power of attorney for DEA Forms 222 and electronic orders.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, do we have anything else before we go into closed session?
What was the closed session? I have to get back to accounts payable at some point.
Oh,
So-
okay, let's go, yeah.
Well,
You just want to vote on that? All it is signing a court order for buying the building.
That's the one, and then we have the auditor, yeah.
Well, there's an amendment to it too.
You have two.
No, that's, this is a court order I did up for the purchase.
But the amount is different than what was first agreed to.
Yeah, Kristen has the settlement statement.
We can come out and I think we ought to, I think Jeff wants to talk about it in closed session.
Okay, okay.
So,
We just, I think we had a change in it, so we need to have a formal vote
I'm
on
gonna
it.
change the vote.
And so,
I did have one thing, and I know you need to get, I was talking to Donnie, and he's wanting to move the racks person that's upstairs over into the courthouse, and he's gonna supervise that person, and they need to kind of frame up a wall and create a little office for them, and they got Tim Ling, or I can't, Kevin, sorry. But anyway, Judge said she'd pay for the labor if we'd pay for the materials. It's about $1,000, give or take, to frame up a wall, put a door in, some trim work and stuff, but make a little office for them over there and try to, anyway, so just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
That's-
So I'll tell him to move forward and get it done then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gives you all kinds of.
And he had
room now.
called me yesterday to want to meet with Judge Joyce, so I don't know if that was where the,
Yeah.
but that's,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
okay.
All right with that?
Anything else?
Okay. And Debbie, you got accounts payable? I mean, we need to come back out and,
Come back out.
okay. We're gonna go into closed session and then we'll come back out and we'll maybe sign a court order in open session and maybe approve accounts payable in open session.
all right.
So is that closed
And
session
then
too?
you guys are closed session too, right?
Yeah, they're closed
Well, we can
session.
do their stuff first. I really don't care.
That's fine.
Which one we do first if y'all need to get out of here,
Okay.
if y'all wanna do that.
So I move we go into closed session pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri for communications between public body and its auditor, sub 17, and real estate, sub 2.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it should be.
Okay, I move that we amend our purchase price for 209 Adams Street to $466,876.71.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And you got a court order for us, Debbie, too?
No, I wrote one. This is basically like the one you signed when you sold, Eugene Water. I modified it.
I move that we sign a court order for the purchase of 209 Adams Street. Guess there's no amount here.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Guess you guys will just fill this out then.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Accounts payable. Is that all for the meeting?
No, they need to vote to approve accounts payable.
Oh,
I move we approve accounts payable pending review.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.